Chapter 20. What's the worst that could happen? Seriously, what's the worst that could happen? What is the absolute worst thing that will happen in your pursuit of your journey? More than likely, the thing that is going to happen in the pursuit of your entrepreneurial happiness is that you will have to go back to a 9-to-5 job. And even at that point, the story isn't over. You can always do what you have to do to get back out there, but that's it. You're not going to go crazy. You're not going to die. You're not going to lose your family. Worst case scenario, you will have to suck it up and go back to a job because you have to. Now, let's not confuse the fact that you might have to go back to a job with going back to a job as an option. When you're running your own business, that needs to be the absolute last thing on your mind. But it's okay to keep it there. But keep it there, the last thing. You don't want to spend any time thinking about that because your mind will shape to that and make it happen a lot quicker. But yeah, you're going to hear from a lot of people that it's not safe, it's too challenging, or that they're worried about you. Let them worry about themselves. If they're right, then so what? At least you can say that you tried it. But when it does start to work out, you're going to be looked at in a totally different light. They're going to say you're a genius and a hard worker. Don't let the negative thoughts of all the bad things that could happen distract you from your journey. They are just thoughts. But be aware that thoughts become things. So think positive. Think about all the things that you're working for becoming real life successes. Then those thoughts become things. The one thing that let me know that pursuing my entrepreneurial career was needed was advice from many other entrepreneurs that I was listening to on podcasts and books. The regret factor. I can't remember exactly who it was that said this, but he said he went to an old folks retirement home and had talks with them. He asked them what was the number one thing that they would change from their past. Many of them hinted at the fact that they didn't try to do what they wanted to do in life, that they chose to take the quote unquote safe route and stay at a secure job. They said the what if factor drove them crazy on the inside. They spent a lifetime of working for someone else when inside they knew that there was something in them that they wanted to try but didn't. So they would have to spend the rest of their days always wondering what they could have been or what they could have done in this life. When I heard that story, I knew without an ounce of doubt in my mind that I did not want to grow old and wonder. That pain from those thoughts would have to be almost unbearable in a curious mind, I would think. I mean, think about it. Do you want to spend your life constantly wondering what could have been done in your life if you had not been scared? I know I don't. At the end of my days, I will be sure of what would have happened because I'm out here actively trying and shoot my shot every day. There won't be any place for as much wonder because I gave it an honest try day in and day out. Sure, I'm going to be wondering what would have happened if I would have went this way or that way, but that's not nearly as bad as wondering what would have happened at all. I at least have that. I'm going to be aware of what has happened in my life, all derived from one decision, deciding to chase my entrepreneurial journey. So what has actually happened for me? It's been quite complex from a micro level, but simple from a macro level. From a micro level, I've been doing a gazillion different things to stay afloat, to excel, or just to try. That's the beauty of it from my shoes. I don't actually have to have a good or great reason to try something new. I can do it simply because, well, why not? Just like me, you might find that you're actually good at several things, in which that will open up a whole slew of different possibilities that you will find yourself thinking about and acting upon. In my eyes, that's all it is to it. Just try shit. Seriously, trying to make a reason for everything gets tiring. A lot of the best ideas come about in accidental ways. So from a macro level, like I said, it's been simple. Just actively trying different things that fit into my journey as they come and as I realize them. It's all for one point, to stay an entrepreneur. Once I really realized that I have the opportunity to be as free as I wanted, nobody can't tell me nothing. That's the best way to think in my opinion, because if you listen to people, they will surely enough talk you right out of your greatness. And I don't say the word loser reluctantly at all, if you can understand. I say the word loser because that's what it is to me, literally choosing to lose instead of win. When people get to saying all that damn malarkey about why something isn't or won't work, I view it as loser talk. In my head, how in the world can you know something won't work if you haven't specifically tried it? And I mean this for things that are within reason too, I might add. I have to say that because, yes, some ideas are stupid. I've tried thing after thing along my journey, all for one purpose: to stay an entrepreneur. Here's the great news: I'm still standing. Literally, as I write this book, my office has even grown. I'm working at a stand-up desk. And I can add that I actually created this stand-up desk out of my own ingenuity. My brother calls it my ghetto ingenuity. He means that from a good place. He said, well, shoot, at least you saved $400. What I did was put my desk on cinder blocks. You can't do that with every desk, but with my particular desk, it worked like a charm. It's a wooden top, but the wood sits on, it's like a metal type of support system. The desk is L-shaped and it sits on 8 different legs. So I was in Office Depot one day and got extremely attracted to this stand-up desk that I saw, and it was like $400. I was like, damn, I want it, but I'm not going to drop $400 on my office health just yet. I mean, I have it, but wouldn't yield the best results right at this moment. So I had to get it done myself after seeing it. I got on Pinterest and looked up ideas. That's right, I look up ideas on Pinterest. I'm probably the only guy that I know who does so. But you know me, who cares, right? I see the platform as ideas, and ideas are ideas. So I'm looking up these ideas, and then one struck me right after, cinder blocks. I Googled it, and I saw a couple examples. Whipped out a measuring tape and saw how many inches my desk needed to be so that I could comfortably stand and be at my desk. I then looked up the dimensions of cinder blocks online and saw that they should work perfectly. So that same night, I went up to Home Depot and bought 16 cinder blocks. They weren't the big ones, it was like cut in half, so it made it look a little bit better. And there it was. It worked. I mean, it worked like a charm. Meanwhile, my brother and my wife were semi-clowning me because it looked a little ghetto to them. Shanika, my brother's wife, didn't think it was ghetto though. Or at least she led with the explanation of, hey, you saved money, right? Love you, Shanika. So yeah, I didn't give a damn about what my wife and my brother thought. I was 100% successful in the idea to turn my desk into a stand-up desk. Here's the reason why I mentioned this particular creation in this section of what's the worst that could happen. Because it illustrates the ingenuity, the creativity, the will, and boldness to do what it takes to get successful. That's what it takes in today's world of entrepreneurship. And I'm doing it. I'm really doing it. In the beginning, I was certainly unsure about how it would all play out. And I look at myself now like, literally now, I'm writing a book to affect people's lives and get them towards their freedom. So that's how I'm doing. I'm growing. I've got my feet on the ground and moving at a fast pace. And I'm focused. That's very likely what will happen to you if you take the leap of faith and pursue your journey. If you stay the course and stay focused.